Okay, whenever you are. For all of the public transportation we have in Chicago, we also do a lot of driving. Instead of focusing on our nightmarish rush hours, it's my hope to give you some of the same joy for driving that I have. Sometimes I feel a little Rain Man proclaiming what an excellent driver I am, but I find that a high percentage of people tend to trust me with their vehicles. I truly love to drive. There's something about it that calms my soul like nothing else can. There's an art to it. Obviously, there are basic rules everyone should follow, but a really good driver can finesse the car, the road, the traffic, like a master conductor leading an orchestra. Everyone plays their part, but the conductor knows exactly how and when to bring up the tempo and when to turn things down. Because I find such peace in driving, I also believe it should be taken very seriously as I take my grammar. You can only break the rules once you become an absolute master of them. No E.E. Cummings shit until you understand the Chicago Manual of Style or AP Style book. They finally took the hyphen out of email, did you hear? I hope one day to have a vintage sports car. Driving the Autobahn is definitely on the do before I die list. When I was a young girl, and my father was so sick he had to get a kidney transplant, he had to get rid of both of his 1957 Chevy Nomads. That still makes me sad to this day. On any random day, the reason I most wish for a car is the ability to take a drive when my soul is uneasy, restless, irritable, or discontented. iGo helps fill in the gaps sometimes. They're the local nonprofit one. When I feel emotional and angsty and unable to find any sort of comfort, I find when I start driving, something internal just settles down. There have been nights when I have paced the halls of Lakeshore Drive and the corridors of the Kennedy, singing and thinking and driving my troubles away, or at least out of mind for a while. Two great things that go great together are cars and music. It's no coincidence that there's nearly always music involved in my searches for solace. The iPod has been an amazing addition to road trips and running errands alike, but there's something magical about the concept of cars and radio fate. Radio fate is hearing the perfect song come on the radio at just the perfect moment. It's fated because the radio isn't under your control. Maybe it's a sunny afternoon, windows down, and it's your absolute favorite deep-cut Beatles song. Maybe you're alone at night, missing someone, and that song comes on. The one you haven't heard in 20 years. The one that always said exactly what needed to be said. There's something indefinable about the sensation that can't be obtained by making a demand and fiddling with a click wheel. There are three things which harm my driving soul: construction, taxis, and honking. There are really only two reasons to ever use your horn. One, excuse me, perhaps you haven't noticed because you are illegally talking on your cell phone while driving, but I've been patiently waiting for you to notice the light has been green for more than a few seconds. Perhaps you would like to go now. Or maybe 1A, I should not be moving very quickly out of this alley, but I'm going to give a friendly honk just to let you, a potential pedestrian, know I am coming, especially if you are illegally riding your bike on the sidewalk, or I am driving a hybrid that is nearly silent at this slow roll. Reason number two to use your horn: oh my God, you are going to kill me right now because you're breaking some kind of rule of driving, you crazy ass drunkard, older person on cell phone, hot shot, fat boy, stereotyping. This is one of my favorite pictures of my father. He kind of taught me how to drive. We're too much alike, so it was disastrous. Lots of fighting. My mother wouldn't even drive with me. She's too much of a nervous Nelly. I just want to get to the grocery store. How is me driving 40 miles an hour and you driving 40 miles an hour any different? After failing my first try, I didn't even bother trying again until I was 19 and living in Illinois. But he taught me lots of things that I consider invaluable. Some ideas from Dad. Be on the lookout for people who aren't on the lookout for you. People pulling out of driveways, alleys, generally clueless people. Use your mirrors. Always check for blind spots, but when parking, if you can see space in between your mirror and the car, wall, whatever, you're golden. When you're turning right, get off the road. Even if you have to get on the shoulder a little bit, you're at least getting out of the way of anyone else behind you as you slow down. Don't turn from the lane you're in. And when you see brake lights, get off the gas. You don't have to get on your brakes. Just get off the gas. The car will slow down. Master the art of the coast. Lest you get the wrong impression, defensive driving is not granny driving. See me later for that. I like the music loud and I tend to speed. I I once drove from Rockford to the Irving Park exit on 1994 on a Sunday afternoon, averaging about 80 miles an hour the whole way, without having to touch my brakes once. Truth. But it's eyes out and reflexes ready. It's about calculated risk and knowing when to chill out, knowing when to cruise and knowing when to coast.